All right, welcome to our measurement adventure. Today, we're going to take a bunch of simple numbers and turn them into an amazing visual story. Seriously, think of every number as a clue. Let's dive right in.
So have you ever really thought about that? We see numbers and data all the time, and they just look like, a list of facts. But what if they were actually clues? Clues that, if you put them together in the right way, could reveal a hidden story or a secret pattern. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today.
Okay, first things first. Every good detective needs to know what kind of mystery they're trying to solve. So are we looking at a story about just one single thing? Or are we trying to find a secret connection between two different things?
This slide lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got what we call one variable data. It tells a story about one thing. Super simple, like asking a bunch of students for their favorite color. But on the right, that's where our real adventure begins. Two variable data is all about looking for a link between two things.
And that leads us to our big mystery for today. Do taller students tend to have bigger hands? Now, we can't just guess, right? We need evidence. We need clues. We need data. So, it's time to gear up and actually gather those clues. This is the hands-on part of our investigation, where we collect the raw information that's going to help us solve this whole puzzle. The process is actually pretty straightforward, but you got to be precise. First, we measure a student's height, let's say in centimeters. Then we measure their hand span. That's when you spread your fingers out wide and measure from the very tip of your thumb all the way to the tip of your pinky. Each person gives us one pair of clues. Now, this right here is the most important part. For every single person, we have two pieces of information that are linked together. Partner A isn't just 160 centimeters tall. No, they are 160 centimeters tall with a 19-centimeter hand span. That pairing is the key to everything. So we've got our clues. Now what? We need a way to organize them so we can actually see what's going on. We're going to create a special kind of visual map. It's called a scatter plot, and it's where our numbers are truly going to come to life. So think of this like a blank treasure map. It's got a grid, it's got two lines we call axes, but right now, it doesn't mean anything. We have to label it before we can start plotting our clues. And this is how we do it. That horizontal line at the bottom, that's the x-axis, that's where we'll track our first clue, height. And that vertical line going up the side, the y-axis, that'll be for our second clue, hand span. Just like that, our map is ready to go. Okay, let's plot partner A's data together. We find 160 on the bottom axis for height, and then we go straight up until we're level with 19 on the side axis for hand span. And right where those 2 points meet, bam, we place a dot. That single dot represents both of partner A's measurements. It's their unique spot on our map. And when you do that for everyone in the class, you get something that looks like this. Now, this chart is actually showing a dog's height versus its weight, but the idea is exactly the same. Each one of those dots represents one subject, one person or one dog, and its position tells the story of their two paired measurements. All the clues are on the map, the data has been visualized, and now comes the most exciting part of the whole adventure, reading the map, finding the pattern, and finally answering our question. Just take a second and look at how the dots are arranged. Don't focus on any single dot, just look at the overall shape they're making. Do you see a direction? Is there a trend? What story is this map trying to tell us? If you notice that the dots seem to be heading upwards as they move from left to right, you are spot on. They're not just scattered randomly, they're forming a general path. There's a clear direction here. So what does this pattern actually mean? Well, it means that as we move to the right on our map, as height increases, the points also tend to go up, which means hand span also increases. So we can answer our question. Yes, it looks like taller students in this class do tend to have bigger hands. But, and this is a really crucial point, it's not a perfect straight line. You can see there are exceptions. It's a trend, not some unbreakable rule. Before we wrap up our adventure, I've got one quick word of warning. Now that you have this awesome power to tell stories with data, you also need to know how to spot a story that might be trying to trick you. Take a look at these two graphs here. At a quick glance, they might seem like they're telling you something, but there's something a little fishy going on with both of them. Let's break it down. Okay, on the left, the points are just scattered randomly, like confetti. So drawing a line through them is completely meaningless. It's forcing a pattern that just doesn't exist. And on the right, look really closely at the numbers. 23, 25, and 26 are all really close, but the way the chart is built makes the differences look gigantic. It's a visual trick.
So let's just recap our number one tool from today's adventure, the scatter plot. It's our special map for investigating connections, turning paired numbers into a visual story, and letting us spot trends we would never ever see in just a plain old table.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. Now that you know how to do this, what mystery would you want to investigate? Maybe the hours you study versus your test scores, or the temperature outside versus how many ice cream cones are sold. The world is just full of data, waiting to tell its story. What story will you uncover?